Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with our top headlines. Consumer Protection Bill 2018 passed in the Lok Sabha. Bill has provisions to safeguard consumer interests. Time-bound resolution of disputes, calls for constitution of a central consumer protection authority, imposes penalties for endorsing misleading advertisements. Rajya Sabha deadlocked on the issues of Rafale deal and Kaveri farmers. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu expresses displeasure over disruptions, informs House about his findings on the Rafale protest in the House, concludes that Minister Vijay Goyal's statement that he didn't name Rahul Gandhi is correct. Government to infuse 83,000 crore rupees in public sector banks in the next few months. Measure to increase their lending capacity. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley informs that bad loans declined in September quarter. Calcutta High Court allows BJP Chief Amit Shah's Rath Yatras in Bengal, rejects Mamata government's decision to refuse permission on grounds of possible communal tension. BJP welcomes the decision. And Gujarat is the best place for startups, concludes Industrial Policy and Promotion Department survey. Other top performers include Karnataka, Kerala, Odisha and Rajasthan. List of leaders includes Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Telangana. The Lok Sabha on Thursday passed the Consumer Protection Bill 2018 by voice vote. The bill proposes to set up commission to hear complaints. It will now go to the Rajya Sabha for passage.
The Lok Sabha on Thursday passed the Consumer Protection Bill 2018 that seeks to replace the Consumer Protection Act 1986. It was passed amid noisy protests by Congress and AIADMK members. The bill provides a mechanism for redressal of consumers' complaints regarding defective goods and deficient services. Replying to a brief debate, Consumer Affairs Minister Ram Vilas Paswan said the legislation had not been amended for the last 3 decades and needed changes to strengthen rights of the consumers.
अभी भी कोई आदमी सुझाव देना चाहेंगे तो हम खुले दिमाग से क्या कहते हैं कि उस पर करेंगे। इसमें कहीं कोई मामला सरकार का नहीं है, कोई मामला पॉलिटिकल नहीं है, प्रोडक्ट लायबिलिटी का मामला है या मिलावट का मामला है। मिलावट 2 तरह के हैं, एक FSSAI देखता है, एक हम लोग देखते हैं। तो इन सारी चीज़ों को लेकर के जो है ये बिल क्या कहते हैं कि हम लोगों ने जो है यहाँ लाया है। इसमें क्या कहते हैं कि
Initiating the debate, Pratima Mandal of the Trinamool Congress said the proposal Consumer Disputes Redressal Commissions should have judicial members as well. Members from BJP, BJD, NCP and the JDU also took part in the discussion.
Madam, this bill, on the one hand, this bill has severe penalty provision for the endorsers, and on the other, it is giving them a route to get away because the clause of due diligence will act in their defense.
After a bill is passed, after a law is made, there is no post-legislative impact assessment done in this country, for which we do not really come to find out what has happened to the bills that we are passing.
जिस प्रकार से जिले के स्तर पर धनराशि को बढ़ाने का काम किया है, जिस प्रकार से प्रदेश के स्तर पर किया है, राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो परिस्थितियां बनी है, मैं आपको इस बात के लिए बधाई देता हूं, धन्यवाद देता हूं।
The bill will now go to the Rajya Sabha for passage. The bill defines consumer rights as the right to be protected against the marketing of goods, products or services which are hazardous to life and property. It will have the power to set up a central consumer protection authority to promote, protect and enforce consumer rights as a class. The bill defines contracts as unfair if they significantly affect the rights of consumers. It establishes consumer disputes redressal commissions at district, state and national levels. Ravindra Sharon's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Parliament on Thursday passed the bill for people with autism and other disabilities. The National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation and Multiple Disabilities Amendment Bill 2018 was passed by the Rajya Sabha last week. The bill aims to streamline the appointment and resignation of members of a trust that helps people with disability to live independently. Moving the bill for consideration and passage, Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot said a chairperson could not be appointed since 2012 due to the stringent selection criteria. Gehlot said that the amendments will ease the procedure related to the appointment of a chairperson.
छोटे छोटे दो संशोधन प्रस्तुत किए हैं धारा 4 में कि उसकी अवधि 3 साल की होगी और यदि वो त्यागपत्र दे देगा तो सरकार उसको जब स्वीकृत कर लेगी तब से ही वो पदमुक्त हो जाएगा और उसकी पदमुक्ति के पहले अगर 3 साल की कार्यावधि हो रही है तो 2.5 साल में ही उसके उत्तराधिकारी के चयन की प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ कर दी जाएगी और
And Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu clarified on Thursday that MOS Parliamentary Affairs Vijay Goyal did not make any remarks against Congress President Rahul Gandhi on the floor of the House. After going through the records, the chairman said he found Union Minister Goyal's assertion denying Congress leader Anand Sharma's remark on the matter to be correct.
After the House conducted formal business, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu informed the House that Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Vijay Goyal did not make any reference to Congress President Rahul Gandhi in the Rajya Sabha.
18th December 2018, when the House reassembled after lunch, Sri Anand Sharma, while raising a point of order under Rule 238, submitted that on checking the records, he found that morning, while leader of the opposition was speaking about the privilege notices, the Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs referred to Sri Rahul Gandhi, who is the Congress President but a member of the Lok Sabha, and asked him to apologize. Yesterday, that is 19th December, when the House met, Sri Vijay Goyal, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, while pointing out to allegation made by Sri Anand Sharma, submitted that he had nowhere referred to Rahul Gandhi in his submissions made in the House on 18th December 2018, and Sri Anand Sharma has misread the House. He demanded that Sri Anand Sharma should withdraw his words and those words to be removed from the official records of Rajya Sabha. I had then said that I will go through the records. I have carefully gone through the debates of the Rajya Sabha of 18th December 2018 and found, as per the records, nowhere Sri Vijay Goyal, Minister of State for Parliament Affairs, in his submission referred to Rahul Gandhi. Therefore, the what is this? What is it? Unnecessary controversy ko mat badaiye. I want to put the record straight and leave it there. If you want to just prolong it, therefore the averment made by Sri Vijay Goyal are correct.
While raising a point of order on the 18th of December, Congress leader Anand Sharma had stated that Goyal sought an apology from Rahul Gandhi, who is a member of the Lok Sabha, over the Rafale issue.
But at the same time,
different slogans are raised in the House. Slogans sometimes are raised by both sides. They shall not go on record.
Check the visuals.
However, the following day, on the 19th of December, Minister Goyal said he made no reference to Rahul Gandhi and demanded that remarks made by Anand Sharma be withdrawn. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And issues of Rafale and Kaveri farmers' river continue to stall the proceedings of the House on the 7th day in a row on Thursday. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu assured the agitating members that all issues could be discussed in the House.
Rajya Sabha proceedings were disrupted for the 7th day in a row on Thursday. Soon after the House conducted formal business, members of the AIADMK and DMK rushed into the well of the House, demanding protection of Kaveri Delta farmers.
What you have said, you have checked the record.
The
slogans were being raised, but I accept your ruling. But at the same time,
different slogans are raised in the House.
The Congress sought to raise the issue of the Rafale deal. The Treasury benches countered them with slogans demanding an apology from Congress President Rahul Gandhi following the Supreme Court's clean chit to the Rafale deal.
Mr. Vijay Goyal, this seems to be correct. I have said it.
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu appealed to members to allow smooth conduct of the proceedings. He stressed that several important bills were pending and asserted that the government was ready to discuss all issues, including the Rafale deal.
Honorable members, the entire country is watching us. There are many issues which are pending before the House. Important bills are there. Important bills are there. We have to discuss about cyclone. We have to discuss about there are notice also about Rafale. The House is, we can discuss about Rafale also. The government also has no objection. The government also has no objection to discuss about Rafale. They have given in writing. So we can discuss on Rafale, we can discuss on agriculture, we can discuss on price rise, we can discuss on this Mekadatu, we can discuss on even cyclone also. Please cooperate. This is not the way. This is not the way I am telling you. The entire country is very much really agitated the way the House is functioning.
But when members refused to relent and the protest continued unabated, the chair adjourned the House till Friday. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in a big announcement, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Thursday said that the government will infuse 83,000 crore rupees in public sector banks in the next few months of the current fiscal. Earlier in the day, the government sought Parliament's approval to infuse an additional 41,000 crore rupees in state-owned banks through the second batch of supplementary demands for grants. This is expected to increase total recapitalization in the current fiscal from 65,000 crore rupees to 1.06 lakh crore rupees. Jaitley said the recapitalization will enhance the lending capacity of the state-owned banks and help them come out of the RBI's prompt corrective action framework. Jaitley also said that recognition of non-performing assets in the public sector banks is complete and that a reduction of bad loans has begun.
Recognition of the NPAs, a process which started in 2015, has made a considerable headway. It's almost complete. And at a time where it had peaked in March 2015, the non-recognition was to the extent of about 7%. That now is about 0.59. So a high provisioning has already been made by the banks as a result of disciplining which has taken place in the last few years. And obviously they led to the peaking of the NPAs, because what was under the carpet has been brought in the best norms of transparency, shown on the books. And hopefully the last quarter has already shown that there is an improved performance, and therefore now the downward slide in the NPA itself would now commence. This entire exercise will also lead to the improvement in the lending capacity of the banks itself.
And to get a better understanding of this development, we'll go across to Mr. Shubhmoy Bhattacharjee, consulting editor, The Business Standard. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to Rajya Sabha Television. So the government will infuse, it has announced that it will infuse 83,000 crore rupees in the public sector banks in the next few months. What does it mean and what will it achieve?
Well, primarily, this recapitalization is supposed to be part of an agenda, continuing agenda, which the finance minister talked about. So what it does is basically give banks more risk-weighted capital. You know, currently many of the banks are, in fact, that was one of the major controversy between RBI and the finance ministry over how much of risk-weighted capital the bank should have. And as the current level of recapitalization shows, the government is trying to put them on as per the Basel II norms of 9%, which is actually what the RBI had asked for. It was, though the Basel II norms initially say, basically say 8%, but in India, RBI says because of the additional risks and others that the banks have, it should be 1% above the Basel II. And the government has agreed to it. It is actually going to recapitalize the banks at 9%. So I think that that's a very commendable exercise.
And how will it help the public sector banks to improve their books?
Yeah, it surely will help the public sector banks to help their books. 11 banks right now are under the prompt corrective action, which basically means that they cannot lend to practically anything. So those banks especially are the ones which will get the most benefit from this recapitalization measure, because these banks, as you know, are government owned, and they can get their capital at more than 50% of the capital has to come from the government. To that extent, these banks would definitely be helped. The market gets helped. Lending, which has started to rise now, would be better because the banks would now have more capital in their pocket to be able to take on additional liabilities. So overall, it's a very positive sign.
The finance minister has said that the recognition of non-performing assets in the public sector banks is complete. Now, how soon can we see an improvement in the bad loan situation?
Well, yeah, that's right. The figures are looking impressive. I mean, in the sense that the gross NPA, the climb has sort of, come down. In this quarter, the figures show that from 14.7, it's come down to 14.1%. So there is a feeling or that the worst is behind us. But I suppose we'll have to wait another quarter to see that actually all the damage to the bank's loan book has been done, and the banks really have been able to come up with nothing fresh in their books, which would give them a nasty surprise. So I suppose while the work of giving additional credit would definitely start, to say that we have really finished off with the NPA, let's wait one more quarter.
And the finance minister also spoke about the amalgamation of banks. Now, what are the government's plans on that front?
Well, as you know, the first round of amalgamation has already started. Bank of Baroda, Vijay Bank and Dena Bank will be a merged entity, and that is a very positive for the market. They will be expecting many more. However, we are moving into the election season, and I don't think another merger would be coming so soon. This merger itself will take some time to fructify because the process has just started. And based on it, I'm sure we'll see more. Earlier, there's already been the merger of the 5 associate banks with State Bank of India. That was a very major cleanup exercise, and that has actually given SBI entity a much more, what I might call, dominating position in the market. And I'm sure in the coming months, in 2019, we'll get to see at least one more of such mergers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhattacharjee, for joining us on that very big announcement by the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, where the government has announced that it will infuse 83,000 crore rupees in the public sector banks. Moving on to some more developments, the Calcutta High Court on Thursday allowed the BJP's Rath Yatra in West Bengal, setting aside the state government's refusal on apprehensions of communal unrest. Justice Tapabrata Chakraborty said that the courts can interfere in administrative authorities' exercise their discretionary powers in a whimsical manner. He also directed the state BJP to inform the superintendents of the police of the districts in which the rallies shall enter at least 12 hours ahead of the schedule. Justice Chakraborty added that BJP must ensure that Rath Yatras do not impede normal movement of vehicular traffic. The state police was directed by the court to deploy adequate force to ensure that there is no breach of law and order. Welcoming the order, the BJP hit out at the ruling Trinamool Congress in West Bengal for denying permission for its rally and questioned the silence of the opposition on the issue.
जो प्रशासनिक ऑर्डर पास किए गए थे उसको असंवैधानिक करार दिया गया है, उसको दुर्भावनापूर्ण प्रेरित निर्णय करते हुए माननीय उच्च न्यायालय ने निरस्त किया है। यह फैसला स्वागत योग्य है और अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी सभी प्रकार से जो प्रशासनिक नियम हैं उनको एक लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से स्वीकार करते हुए पश्चिम बंगाल में अपने जो यात्रा ममता बनर्जी जी की सरकार के द्वारा प्रशासनिक अवरोधों के कारण रोकी गई थी, उसको पूर्व कार्यक्रम के अनुसार पुनः प्रारंभ करेगी।
And Gujarat topped the first ever startup ranking of states and union territories. The government released the startup rankings on Thursday. The rankings are based on initiatives taken to develop the startup ecosystem and promoting budding entrepreneurs.
The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion on Thursday released the state startup rankings on the basis of the startup policy framework that it had announced earlier this year. The state startup ranking report rated Gujarat as the best performing state.
Most of the startups, they die because of lack of initial seed funds, and that is the duty of state government to nurture them by providing seed funding and then some sort of angel funding, and then later on at the maturity stage venture funding. So if the state provides all those fundings, the innovations can see the day of light.
Karnataka, Kerala, Odisha and Rajasthan were put in the top performers category, while Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Telangana found their place in the leaders category.
National level launch which happened, there is a lot of policy support in the government of India level also for the startups. For example, many of my startups in Kerala are actually being beneficiaries of the funds which public sector oil companies are providing.
States identified as aspiring leaders include Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal, while emerging states category includes Assam, Delhi, Goa, Jammu and Kashmir, Maharashtra, Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Uttarakhand. Chandigarh, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Puducherry, Sikkim and Tripura were placed at the bottom under the beginners category. A total of 27 states and 3 union territories participated in the exercise. The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion consulted stakeholders of the startup ecosystem and came up with 7 key reform areas as the basis of the ranking. An online portal was launched to help states submit their initiatives across the reform areas.
The regulations which have been made for other companies, the regular conservative business models, don't suit the startups very often. We have been trying to sensitize many government officials, regulators on this, and we have actually managed to get 22 regulations changed in the last 3 years.
The government has recognized 14,565 startup initiatives in the country, out of which 2,787 are from Maharashtra, followed by Karnataka with 2,107 startups. Delhi has 1,949 such initiatives, while Uttar Pradesh has 1,201 startups. Haryana and Gujarat have 765 and 764 startup initiatives respectively. About 15% of startups are from IT services, followed by healthcare and education. With inputs from Panchanan Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India and China are working on imparting a positive thrust to their mutual relationship. With this goal in mind, foreign ministers of both the countries will hold talks on a whole gamut of bilateral issues on Friday in the national capital. This will be the first such interaction between the two foreign ministers after the informal summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping on 27th and 28th April this year.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj is slated to meet Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Delhi on Friday. Their talks will focus on deciding a roadmap to strengthen understanding between the two nations. Both foreign ministers will sign a memorandum of understanding to increase people-to-people contacts through tourism, cultural exchanges and media dialogue.
No, I mean, this specifically is the high-level mechanism on cultural and people-to-people exchanges. The meeting, of course, I mean, there will be a bilateral meeting, delegation-level talks between EAM and the Chinese Foreign Minister. And after that, at the beginning of the media forum, it will be EM, External Affairs Minister and Chinese Foreign Minister.
An eminent persons group has also been proposed to interact on important issues of mutual interest. Indian Council of World Affairs is also holding a 2-day interaction of experts and academicians of both the countries.
This edition of the forum is being held as an important component of the newly constituted India-China high-level mechanism on cultural and people-to-people exchanges, which has been established pursuant to the decision taken by Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping in their informal summit in Wuhan.
I wish to encourage the think tank from both sides to step up exchange and mutual learning to contribute our wisdom in the East to a world of change unseen in a century and provide intellectual support for a closer development partnership between our two countries.
The 3-day visit will see the Chinese foreign minister visiting Aurangabad and Mumbai to see tourist places and interact with Chinese businessmen in India.
The meeting is very important and the message is loud and clear to the people of both the countries and also to the governments of the world that India and China, though have differences, there are so many similarities and commonalities, and both countries are trying to work on those. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Suresh in Delhi.
And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. For more news and updates, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Namaskar.